Good morning. Now, when you look at the people, the politicians, the bureaucrats and the experts, what do you see now? When you look at the establishment, I see panic. That's right, they are running. It's like this big, strong, savage bull is loose. They kept him locked up and he broke through the fences. This huge bull, right? And you see people running now. It's pretty. And where do you find the most panic, the biggest panic? And I thought about the UK. Maybe this is the place. The establishment in the UK. They are panicking to an extreme level, I think. Now I saw this thing. It's unbelievable, but it's true. There's this lady from the Office of National Statistics. Right. And she's real. She's not a comedian. She's a real person, and she's talking about excess death. Post a link to it. And she says this: during and since the pandemic, we have seen more people die than we would expect. And we call these deaths above average excess deaths, right? You know, when you listen to these bureaucrats, it's weird, right? But I think I got it. I understand what she's saying. And she says, we now have a new method of counting. Instead of looking at the average, we look at the estimate. So this is the thing, right? So if 1,000 people die on average and then 1,500 die suddenly, you call it excess death, right? This is how it works today. But they are now going to change it. They have changed it. Instead, they look at the estimate. So if you have people estimating that 1,500 people would die, and then 1,500 people did die, there was no excess death. You see, you don't compare it to the average anymore. It's fantastic, isn't it? And they're actually doing it. And I'm sure they had meetings. No, this is panic. Of course, you know, people like Sunak, Hancock, all these idiots, right? They thought we have to do something. People are talking about excess death, and our own agency is talking about it. We have to stop it. So they had meetings, of course they did. And they said, so we have excess deaths, right? And this agency said, yes, we do. See? And they said, these people, Hancock and all these guys, they said, no, we can't say this anymore. We have to stop talking about this like this. Do something. What can we do? You know? Well, somebody came up with this idea, I'm sure. No, let's not talk about the average anymore. Let's talk about the estimate. So if we expect 1,500 people to die, and then 1,500 people die, it's perfect. There's no excess death. We just got rid of it. See? This is what they are doing in the UK. Now this is panic. If you ever saw panic, this is panic. See? It's crazy though, isn't it? Of course, I don't have to tell you. It's 1984, of course. 1984. George Orwell. And he was from the UK. How did he know? They are using his book as a manual, you see. I read that book again about a year ago. It's scary. I recommend it. It is scary. Because you see what's going on today. And it's the UK. Well, they are doing it all over the place. Wow. It's so weird though, isn't it? You know, I think about the people who protested back in the 60s. They were protesting the wars and the evil, right? And we are doing it now again, but now I think it's so weird, isn't it? I wonder if they had that weirdness back in the 60s. Maybe they did. So incredibly weird. So somebody asked me, what would be the first thing you would do if you were the president? And I thought about it, and then I came up with this. I would do a video, first of all. I would sit in this chair, talk to the people, and I would say, okay, I will be your president now for 2 months. No, that's all I need, 2 months. And there's going to be a lot of noise, a lot of people will be upset, see. All these bureaucrats have to go. We are getting out of the WHO, and we are cancelling all these treaties that we signed, these stupid treaties, you see. We are leaving the EU immediately, right? And I'm going to lower the taxes. It's going to be very low, right? All these bureaucrats, they will have to find something else to do to prove that they can actually produce something. And no more political correctness in law enforcement from today. No, this is forbidden. You just enforce the laws. Get rid of that crap, political correctness, you see. Send a lot of people home. Criminal invaders that came to Sweden. We are sending them home tomorrow, you see. But I will not do any interviews. I can't deal with that crap. I have other things to do. I need to paint. I like to paint, you see, and I want to compose music. So I'll just do a video every now and then and tell you what's going on. See? That's what I would do. And I will say, I need 2 months, and I will turn this around. A lot of people will be happy. And while others will be very, very sad. And they will be screaming and crying. So that's what's going to happen now. Yeah, it's very easy, isn't it? You just look at what they have been doing for the last decades, and then you do the opposite. It's very simple. And it will turn it around immediately. All right. Be good.